Hey guys, we're in the book of Colossians. Chapter 1 and chapter 2, Paul uses similar terminology throughout. A number of times he talks about different mysteries and try and fully comprehend them. They are mysteries. But I've enjoyed looking at some of them. But I have another one for you today. In chapter 2, this is what it says. I want you to know how much I am struggling for you and for those at Laodicea and all who have not met me personally. My purpose is that they may be encouraged in heart, united in love, so they may have the full riches of complete understanding. Remember yesterday we spoke about the fullness of Scripture that needs to be taught? This is that. In order that they may know the mystery of God, namely Christ, in whom are hidden all the treasures of wisdom and knowledge. Wisdom and knowledge. Isn't that an incredible offering that God gives to us? He says you can have wisdom, but you've got to find knowledge first. And the knowledge of God is key to wisdom. Our universities are sadly full of people looking for knowledge, but sadly not many graduate with a degree in wisdom. They may have lots of knowledge, but not a lot of wisdom. And so what he's telling us here is that in our desire for wisdom, we've got to take that knowledge that he's taught us in the fullness of Scripture. We've spoken about that. Take the fullness of all the truths and, for goodness sake, just apply it. Just apply it in your life. And he says the application of knowledge will lead to a life full of wisdom. Now, as I'm speaking about this, I'm thinking about a number of people who I know. I'm thinking of some of the great men that I have been associated with and got to know in the course of my journey. And I'm saying, how do they get that wisdom? Where do they get that personal wisdom from? Does something just drop out of heaven? Did they read a book on it and get it? No, it came after years and years of trouble, of hardship sometimes, of failure at other times, of acknowledging their own mess-ups, acknowledging those things. And in doing all of those things, they were gaining great wisdom because of the knowledge that those things brought with them. The application of the knowledge is the key to wisdom. Now, there are many people who've got a lot of knowledge, but knowing stuff, people, is kind of overrated unless you use it well, unless you use it in your daily life. That's why this theological study that we're doing through Paul's teaching right now is critical for life. Take those things you know about God, His omnipotence, His all-powerfulness, His all-knowingness, His deep compassion. Take those things and apply them to your life. So I thought to myself, what are the three things that I know about God that could most implicate in my life, have the biggest implication if I were to act upon them and put them into practice? The first one would be the fact is that God really loves me. He thinks I'm awesome. He thinks you're awesome too. He created you. He made you the way that you are. Didn't make any mistakes. He thinks you're amazing. And God really loves you. Now you apply that truth into a world that says you're never enough. You will find that truth could change and radicalize your entire life. What about the truth of, number two, of that God has a purpose and a plan for my life? How many times do I talk about this? I talk about it because I really believe it to be true. When I heard that preacher preach that day to me when I was 12, 13 years old, I don't remember too much of what he had to say. It wasn't a turn or burn or heaven or hell kind of a confrontational thing. He just said to me, young man, God has a purpose for you. And it's to do more than just take up air and sit in a seat. He has a purpose with a plan for your life. So if God has a purpose and a plan for our lives, and we believed it, and we acted upon it, man, that could transform your entire life. What about this one? Here's a big one for you. I really believe in the sovereignty of God. I really believe that no matter what bigness of the mess around us is going on, I really believe that no matter what the circumstances of life have to throw at you, God is still on His throne. There is nothing that can throw Him off. The other day we were saying politically even, why do we get so upset over certain things when we know at the end of the day that God's will is ultimately going to be achieved? You don't want to mess with the sovereign God, do you? You don't want to question his ability to do the things that he says he can do. And this knowledge, when it turns into wisdom because of application, frees you up. You never get free from worry. You're free from bitterness and anger. If we really believed in the sovereignty of God, when we say that we know it, what a change just those three truths could mean to us. Not that difficult. Let's try it and let's make it happen. See you guys. Bye.